All right, William in Duncansville wrote in. I mentioned that this topic would be coming up again. William wants to know, how do we find out the status of Pennsylvania's lawsuit against the NCAA? You announced it.
Right.
You know, my first answer to him would be, well, keep checking PAMatters.com. We'll be updating any news that comes out of that. But for people who really want to follow this and know the instance there's some development, what's the best way to do that?
Well, let's give you a little bit of a schedule, William. I think from the time that we filed the lawsuit and the NCAA received it, they have 30 days to file a response to that, which is usually, in any federal case, a motion to dismiss. Automatically, people just file it and say, you don't have any standing. We granted a 30-day extension to that, so they have 60 days from the day that they received it, which would have been sometime right after the 2nd of January. Then we will respond to that. We have 30 days to respond to that motion. Then there'll be a hearing on that motion. That's before any answers. Once we get past the standing issue, which we feel very good about. So what we're talking about are months and months and months. I don't have the website, but most federal district courts, U.S. District courts have their own websites, and there is a way, I believe, that they can follow a specific case if you have and look it up and see the docket entries. So that'll tell you what's been happening. You're not going to see anything happen for a couple months.
Okay, that's fantastic. I'm not one of your writers. But can I feed you a line to maybe use the next time you're talking about
Sure.
the NCAA? You know, this mess that they have going on with Miami,
right,
and everything's going down. Just say, it looks to me like Mark Emmert has lost institutional control.
Oh, I've been saying that.
Have you really? You've already used that?
I have been saying that.
Here I thought I had an original thought.
And saying that. He may have lost institutional control before he became president of the NCAA. But I've been saying that the NCAA has lost institutional control in this. So what's going on in Miami is certainly, I'm sure that the lawyers representing us would love to talk to him in a discovery deposition about the issue of institutional control. But if we may for a minute.
Sure.
Let's talk about the lawsuit. The basis of the NCAA's action was that Penn State lost institutional control. You won't find institutional control as a regulation.
It's very subjective.
It's a principle. It is a principle.
It's subjective.
Well, here's how I explain it to people. One of the common known principles is under the Ten Commandments, thou shalt not steal. Right? But all the people that are sitting in the state prisons and in the federal prisons for stealing were not charged with "thou shalt not steal" under the Ten Commandments. They were charged with a specific statute
under Pennsylvania
under
or federal
Pennsylvania law or under Pennsylvania or federal law. Well, there's no specific regulation under the NCAA. How do you charge somebody when they don't see what the rule is? And institutional control is so vague and so ambiguous that it's probably in the eye of the beholder. Thou shalt not steal is pretty clear. Mm-hmm. But what is institutional control? So that'll be, in my mind, a lot of what we're going to be talking about. And because even the Free Report said there were no NCAA violations, we believe that the NCAA is not playing by the rules. Well, Penn State played by the rules. They have one of the best graduation rates.
They do.
This
and
isn't
continue
about.
To.
This is there was nothing in the violation that had anything to do with ineligibility of players, recruiting violations,
no cheating on the field,
no money, nothing. So I have a real problem with the NCAA.